$1 million question. Are we live? Think so, but I don't see us in the group yet. So if you are joining us, say hello. I'm still not seeing us here. So say hi. Um, Let us know that you're here because it looks like we should be live and that you should see us, but I don't see you. Well, obviously I don't see you, but
we're in the group.
are we? Okay. There we go.
Yes.
Woohoo! We're ready to go. Happy Tuesday, everybody. How's it going? Lori is having a little bit of a challenge today, a technical challenge, but you know what? We've got through it. So my apologies that we are starting late. Would love to hear if you guys have ever had technical difficulties too that have caused you to start late. Um, you know what?
Hey, life happens sometimes, doesn't it?
It does. It does. So hello, Randy. Hi, Michael. Hey, Jamie. Okay.
Hello, everybody.
So we are talking today. Let me start over here, right? Redefining entrepreneurship. We're back once again. And today we are talking about calling in more clients your way. So if you have joined Mara and I before, we talk a lot about doing business your way, how to do business your way and the different aspects of each of this. So you've heard us talking about different things. Heard us talking about human design, which I'm sure will come up again today when it comes to your lead gen and like client attraction strategies. uh, that is exactly what we're talking about today, because the thing is yeah, you've heard send DMs, do lives, do webinars, do this, do that. Like, this is how you get clients. This is the way. But that's not necessarily true for you. It might be, but it's not necessarily, because doing it your way means you're going to actually enjoy what you're doing more and you're going to get better results and sell more shit. I mean, honestly, like that's what it comes down to, right? If you do it your
Okay,
way.
great. Live done. You just summed that up right there. Like that is it right there. That is it right there. I love it.
So
Yeah.
I would love for anyone who is here live, or if you're watching the replay, give us a hashtag replay. Let us know that you're here too. But feel free to share your own experiences when it comes to lead generation, bringing in clients, client attraction. I don't really like to call it lead generation. Honestly, I think it just sounds so impersonal. But your own experiences with that, how you feel about it. Have you found your own way? Any, and all of that. Feel free to tell us in the comments about that.
Yeah.
And Mara, I think I want to start with you because I know that you've been through this, and I think it's important for us to talk a little bit about our own experiences with lead gen.
Yeah, I've struggled with this one. Even up until recently, and I'm continuing to hone it in. I mean, yes, you have to grab the great 30-second pitch or minute pitch if you're networking, or you send the DMs, or you're posting on, there's all kinds of strategies to do lead gen. And especially when you're newer in business and you're trying to grow your business, how do you figure out what the right way for you is? It's everyone telling you, oh no, you need to do this. Oh no, that's not going to work. You need to do this. Oh wait, no, you need to do a combination of XYZ. And you get lost in trying to figure out all of the different ways. And so I fell into that same trap. Like I'm an operations specialist. I can speak to marketing and sales, but it's more information than strategy. And I got caught up in the same loop. And the game changer for me was to really learn my human design. You knew it was coming up. I won't harp on it because I harp on it a lot. Really, whatever tool it is that you get to know yourself. So we've talked about that before when it comes to a lot of different things in your business and doing business your way. That the key factor is getting to know yourself. and then getting to know how you make decisions for yourself based on what's right for you. So those of you familiar with human design, that will 100% resonate with you. Those of you that are not, you might want to
get familiar with it.
Get familiar with it. It's a fabulous tool. I've used a ton of them in my life, but I was struggling with you have to send DMs and you have to go into all these groups and then you chat people up and then you start these relationships and then you take into DMs. And like, I literally had like whole body resistance to all of that. Has nothing to do with, I actually like getting to know people. I love having conversations, but there was something with that. I was like, nah, no, just no. And the amount of frustration and stress, and it was always the last thing that I would do. I would go clean my toilets and clean my hat, do everything else.
You're cleaning your toilets instead of trying to get clients.
I did listen. I'm just being honest here. That is literally how much I would procrastinate. Like, it was just whole body not aligned with me. So once I learned my human design and figured out what it was, totally clicked. I'm a 4/6. I'm a sacral generator. 4 lines in human design. Like, we're meant to network. That is why all of my networking, local and online, I loved. I could do that all day long. Ask me to send DMs, I will resist you as long as possible. Mm-hmm. So it took a while. Then once I learned that, I'm like, oh, so that's why that feels easy for me. That's why it doesn't take really any effort for me and I enjoy it. And that's where I'm getting business, mm-hmm. right? Still to this day, 100% of my business is referrals and networking. That is it. That is how I built my business and that's how I continue. But we'll expand on this in a minute, the second part of my story. But that was the beginnings of it. It's really identifying there's so many ways to lead gen. There's so many ways to get to know people and attract clients. But it's really figuring out what feels easy for you, what's aligned with you. I love Apple. And yay. And, that's where, when it feels easy mm-hmm. and aligned with you, you're gonna be in the right energy when you do it, and you're gonna pull in clients. Like, that's your starting point with any of this, is finding the right way.
So let me ask you something, because I think it's important for people to hear this too. So, one of the things I said we're going to talk about today is why you're not currently filling your offers in days, like selling them out, and how to shift this. And I bet your sales, and I know you're not doing like coaching programs per se, so it's a little bit different in the way you fill your offers, but I'm guessing your sales were kind of before you figured this out. So how did this affect your income, your sales, etc.?
I 20 times my incomes in 7 months.
Thank you.
There's my answer. 20 times my income in 7 months. And I wasn't beating my head against the wall. Really wasn't having to put a priority on cleaning my toilets because I wasn't doing everything to procrastinate sending DMs. I mean, maybe they're a little dirtier. I don't know. But, I'm not doing everything else and having these like whole body responses to things I knew I should be doing and everyone telling me I'm supposed to be doing. I just did what felt easy. Mm-hmm. And that's how I filled my time and filled my days, is just doing what was easy and following those little breadcrumbs with networking and things like that. I know you and I have had this conversation, like, you enjoy networking, but it's not your aligned way, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And so I do want to get into this in a little bit, because you've kind of figured out your way, but then you also do use networking. I use networking, that's my aligned way, but I have figured out how to make DMs work for me. So we'll get into that.
Yay, I love that. And just Hello to everybody else who's jumped on. And I just want to say, Deb said, I love this so much.
Yay. I know you definitely resonated with that one
And I
too.
was saying, pretty sure you guys are the same human design type, right? So I
Profile.
hear and
Mhm.
see
Yep.
that you're resonating with that, Deb. And yeah, you're right. Like for me, I like networking. I don't mind doing it. I like talking to people, but that's not how I attract clients necessarily. It's not how I get people into my world per se. And when I realized this and I stopped doing networking, the shift in my results and just the way that I felt about the way that I was bringing clients in completely shifted. And, it can completely, if for anyone who's joined us since Mara said this, I just want to repeat. One of the things that we talk about is why you're not currently filling your offers and how to shift this. If you are doing client attraction, lead generation, whatever you want to call, getting clients into your world to buy your shit. If you are not doing it in a way that is aligned with you, if you're doing it in a way that you are highly resistant to, that is just not for you, you're not going to get the results you want. Like, sure, you're going to, I mean, I'm sure you were making money at that point, right? Like you were getting clients, but every time you're bringing people into your offers, if it feels like you're having to convince people, if you're feeling like it's just, like you said, like whole body reaction, like this is just not for me. And that you're doing it anyway because someone told you had to. You're not going to get the kind of results you want. You're not going to fill your programs, your offers. You're not going to sell things out fast. And sales is going to feel difficult. Period.
Well, you're all going to pull in the wrong people too. You're in the wrong energy. You're doing this thing that you feel icky about or you don't like or you feel unsure about, and you bring that energy into it. You're not even going to attract the type of person that you want to work with. And it's so even past your marketing strategy, even filling your audience, you don't want to fill your audience with people that aren't going to be right with you. Right? You want to fill your audience in the way that we're talking about that's aligned with you. So then your audience is aligned with you. So when you put out that offer, and we'll get to the offer part in just a second, when you put out that offer, your audience is already aligned with you. They're already the right people because you've brought them in the aligned way for you. Like I was just, okay, I'm connecting with people on LinkedIn, I'm connecting with people on Facebook, and I'm supposed to be doing all of that. And it just felt like I was talking to thin air. That being said, 4 lines, don't talk to strangers very well. Like they don't hear us. So I have to bring them into my network, and then they will hear me. So my marketing strategy is different. Now, I don't go out there and just add to my audience. I might add a few here and there, but they're all aligned. They know me. They want to be there. So it's not numbers. It's quality. I'm sure all of you have heard that before.
Quality over quantity doesn't matter. You could literally have 5 people in your audience and make more than someone with 5,000 people in their audience if you have the right 5 people.
Yep.
Always. Again, it comes back to doing it your way and finding that way that works for you. Randy said, and I just want to say, Randy, I can't see in here who the comments are from, but I saw this comment and I'm like, Randy said hi earlier. I guarantee you this is from him. And I knew it. And sure enough, it was. So staying away from the technology and having it done for me was the best thing that I found. I'm going to come back a little bit on you guys. I know, Mara. So, and what I think that he's talking about too is not content, because I know they've been telling me this for a very long time. Yes, Randy. So yes, that is a way to do it yourself. So I'm just going to use that example. So Randy knows that technology is not his strength, right? So it's not even about like, and I'm saying this because I know Randy, like he can have conversations all day, every day with strangers in Walmart, right? And be totally fine with that. But the challenge of doing the tech part of it was a like complete showstopper and was stopping you from actually like getting clients because you were so hung up on the am I doing it right thing that you were not even like your focus wasn't in the right spot, and the messaging that was coming across to your people in those messages was wrong because you weren't concerned about the conversations that you were having. You were concerned about whether or not you were doing the tech right. So from that aspect, definitely okay, you know, to say, okay, if I want to send DMs, if that's what I want my strategy to be, then I'm going to have someone do it for me. Yep. And you know, on the flip side, like some people do it differently, and you know, some people don't do DMs at all, you know, and I say not at all, that's not saying like some are more just like responding to DMs. And yes, Mara is raising the hand. And that's where I said I'm going to push back a little bit because your words, your messaging, your words are the most powerful thing that you have. And I do know, and I'll speak for this, like you found, Mara, that you have the words, but putting them out there in a way that like comes together was something that was stopping you. So you said, okay, I'm going to get somebody who can help me, and I'm going to blurt out the things I want to say, and then they're going to help make it so that it's not 30 pages long and so that people can read it fast, right?
Yeah. I got caught up in the stress of making long posts and story posts and short posts and questions. And then, you know, you get caught up in all of that. I'm like, I know I have the things up here and I don't know how to say it. And then it's not fitting in these formats. And then I'm supposed to alternate and just caught up in all of the minutia of all of that instead of just saying things. And so once I figured out my human design and why networking felt so easy, I chose to get help with, because I needed to have a social media presence. I needed to stay in front of people to really focus in where I needed to make my home. I live on LinkedIn mostly, where, you know, my type of people were. But then to have the support so someone can help take this out of here. I can write it. They can chop it up. They can do whatever. So it's still me, but someone that may be better with words to make it sound more social media friendly and attractive and things like that, that I can continue to build my audience, right? Continue to be a thought leader, have that presence, which I know I needed to have, but I can focus my efforts where my energy is strongest, right? And that's networking. So I pulled in the right support for me. This doesn't have to be the same strategy for everyone. I pulled in the right support for me because my gut, I'm a sacral. Like I knew that was going to be the right answer for me. But after I got that relief and was kind of in it, and I'm like, oh, this works. This is a nice mix of strategy, right? I'm talking to people. This is what I do best. I'm amazing at it. But then I also have this other piece kind of taken care of for me. Then it gave me the freedom to go back, and when I see a DM from somebody, when I see something, I go based on my gut feel. If I feel like I need to open that DM because there's something drawing me to it, I open it, or I need to respond to that one. Yeah. And I'm going to respond to it. And every single time, because I go off of my gut reaction, my human design authority, I go off my gut reaction, and every single time it's been the right connection. But it's not all of them.
You don't have to. I'm going to full permission to everybody right now. What you just said is important. So I'm going to interrupt and just say full permission. You don't have to respond to every single DM that you get in your inbox. You don't even have to like let's say you have a Facebook group and you're like, oh, I have to welcome people to my group and this and that. No, you don't. You can welcome the ones that you know are the right going. Now, I don't have such a strong gut feel. I have a strong intuition, but I need to sit with it for a minute before I can have that. So I know like I might need to wait a day if I'm unsure of whether or not I need to respond to that. And I do. But your DM strategy, your client attraction strategy, your sales strategies, need to be yours and yours alone. They need to work for you. And I'm not going to give you too hard of a time because again, you are using your words and you are having someone else help you to put them out there in a way. I still I'll always say I think that you don't need that, but you're doing what you need to do right now because I think if you put your words out there the way they came out, that people would still respond.
But now that being said, I've started, so I'm doing the way I write and the way I share what's in my head, I do easier when I brain dump. And my brain dumps end up being like blogs or novels, short novels. But
ebooks.
There might be one of those on the way. That's how I share my knowledge naturally. So what I do is then I work with that person. We come up with, maybe different topics or what we want to focus on. And I write, they shine it, put whatever graphic they want to it. Like, I don't know. The amount of stress that just no. But it's my words. It's my message.
Exactly.
It's my everything. Now they will take chunks of that and they short form it. And I'm also starting to do a lot more videos. So I get caught up in the logistics of it and what to say and how to say it. So I've worked out to where I have someone that's much better about putting that together. I blocked off 2 days on my schedule. We're doing nothing but recording videos because I can talk and say everything. Happens like that. It's easy for me. I just needed the support to make it happen. So I'm going to be sharing my message much more via video.
Yeah. And it's good for you to know that. And for me, I love video, but I also love sharing my words in my content. And I love doing exactly honestly what you said. And that's something I do with my clients too. I help them to reformulate their content, to let them brain dump the things that they need to say, and then turn that into tangible content that makes people actually want to buy their shit because it's easy to look at and read. Because the thing is you can be an amazing writer, speaker, whatnot, but if you are doing things in a way that doesn't actually work for you, your message is not getting across. People are not hearing you. Now, it is important to know their terms, their words, and when you're writing, to use that in there because that is what's going to speak to them. But if you are in this constant like self-judgment, I don't know what to say, or this is hard, you're constantly telling yourself all this shit and all these stories, it's going to stop you from getting the result every single time, whatever it is that you're trying to do. And if you want to bring more people into your programs, if you want to sell your offers out easily, you have to be able to sit with yourself and actually say, okay, why am I not doing this thing? Or why is this feeling so hard? What is happening to me so that I can actually shift this and make it work for me?
Exactly. Listen, you don't have to be into human design. I've said this before. There's tons of other Enneagram. There's lots of other in-depth analysis and tools that you can do to really help give you some insight on how you function, what's best for you, etc. Human design just happens to be my favorite and made the biggest impact in my life as well as my business. So, I mean, this went outside. It's not like just DISC or just others that apply more business-wise. But the first key is to kind of hone in on you. I mean, there's parts in my design that actually add to that pressure of coming up with content and things like that. I've sat with marketing folks. They're like, oh, great. Take this novel that you just wrote and here's 5 posts here, and they break it up. I'm like, do you have any idea that I would never be able to come up with that on my own? However, I just utilize their talent to help me. So you don't have to hire everything out. That's my chosen strategy. But the key is the more aligned you are with how you attract who you're talking to, as well as the more aligned you are with what they actually need. So not just what you do, right? I knew you were going to get excited about that one.
I can go for days on this.
I know. Like, I'm going to let you go here in just a minute. But you actually have to be aligned with how they would view what you do. So translating, I have a lot of knowledge. Not a lot of people, they're like, operations, I'm not big enough for operations. You have a business, you have operations, but they're not using that language, right? You have to use the language that the people, the ideal people you want to work with will resonate with. So my ideal folks, some may resonate with operations, higher end will resonate with operations. Those a little earlier in their journey are going to be a little, that's for big corporations. Nope. No, it's not. But I have to change my language so that it translates. Do you feel overwhelmed? Does your to-do list never get done? There's never enough hours in the day. Is your team not working properly? You have team members that don't seem to be delivering what you expect them to deliver. Are you losing sales? Not normally an operational question. 9 times out of 10, there's an operational foundation. So I have to use terms and pain points and language that's going to speak to who I want to work with. I'll provide them the knowledge later.
Yep.
Okay, and because I know you can talk for days on this one.
I can. And for those that have been in my world for a while, and I actually think I put out a post about this like last week, maybe anyway, so you don't even have to have been in my world for that long. I talk about something called the magic door, right? Magic door. So let's just pretend right now between Mara and I on this screen, there's a magic door, right? And I want Mara to come in and work with me. And she's talking about all these problems, right, that we've already talked about that she used to have, like, let's talk about past Mara, okay? And I start talking to her and saying, my new content program is just like going to make your content amazing. People are going to like what you have to say. And I'm trying to like make this just like sound, I don't know. I can't do it.
It's hard.
Well, I know how to make it sound good. I'm trying to make it sound bad.
Yeah.
But let's say, I'm saying, and not bad per se, but I'm using my words, right? Like if I'm using my words and saying, okay, you need to get yourself into alignment. And the reason that content is feeling so hard for you is because your mindset is focused on X, Y, and Z, but really, if you just did this and found your energetic focal point and like just started spewing a bunch of crap, you'd be like, your eyes are glazing over right now, right? Like, I don't know what the fuck you're talking about, Lori. Like, this is not helpful to me at all, right? You're going to keep going. You're not going to stop and look at that content. But if I say, does the idea of sending DMs to get clients into your world give you the heebie-jeebies and make you want to walk away from your business?
Yes. Exactly.
So the power of your words, you can even be a great writer or a great speaker. But if you are not using the right words, the right terms, if you're not speaking to your people in a way that actually connects on their side of the door, because on their side of the door, they're speaking their language. And even though and you knew back then what alignment meant and some of these words, that's not how you were talking about your problem. So I was not catching your interest. So if you're just talking about yourself and your offer and how amazing it is and using all these big expert words, people aren't going to listen. They're not going to buy. So part of doing business, doing client attraction your way is no matter what you're doing, whether you're networking, whether you're writing content, whether you are going live, that you know the words that your people use. You speak their language, and I'm not talking English or French or Chinese, but the words that they use to speak about their problem.
Yeah.
When you're talking about your solution and the outcomes that they're going to get with it, it's going to change your freaking life. I guarantee it.
It's hard to do though. Like it's really hard to do. We can sit there and say this, right? And I'm sure people are like, that sounds great. How the hell do I do that? Right? I still slip into it. I'm like, I'm a COO and I'm going to make your operations streamlined. And oh, wait, hold on. Who am I talking to? Like I have to come back out of my head and remember who I'm talking to because that's just what I do. Right? And it comes easier. But who am I talking to? Like what's going to resonate? Is it you're kind of frustrated? You've got these team members and you love them and they're great, but they're not delivering anymore, right? And now you're all frustrated. Like, do you have an overwhelming to-do list? There's not enough hours in the day. Like, all of these things, that's what's going to speak to people. Same thing with your folks, Lori. It's, it's if you said what you said and you're like, I'm going to tell you how to not make it heebie-jeebies. Or if DM makes you have the heebie-jeebies, guess what? There's other options, right? Or like it's providing that solution, that relief from that pain point. I'm like, really? I don't have to DM. I love Apple. I don't have to DM. Wait, there we go. I don't have to DM. This is what goes on in my head. I don't have to DM. Like, you're telling me I don't have to DM and go troll Facebook groups and do all of that? Please tell me more, because I got to know how to do that. She just spoke to like what I'm actually experiencing inside.
Yeah. And that's what it comes down to. So yes, you can get clients your way, but you still need to understand your client. I think, as Randy said, it's hard. Yes, it's hard, and it does take time to stay consistent with it. It does. But the more you know their stuff, their words, their side of the door, the easier it's going to feel. It's not going to be hard once you actually find the thing that's right for you. And the reason it feels hard, the reason you can't stay consistent with it, is because you're not doing it in the way that is most aligned for you.
Exactly. And, once you figure all that out, more market research. The people you work with, if they're like your person, right? If you guys all had like your person, you're like, oh my God, I could clone you and work with you all day long. Like, this would be fucking phenomenal, right? Go do market research with that person.
Yeah. And then write all your content for that person.
Right. Like, pretend you are in a conversation with that person before they started working with you and after they started working with you. So you want to talk to what they were struggling with and then what the outcome was. Do market research. Like, once you identify those people and you start to call them in, you're going to go, yeah, this is great. Okay, get a feedback call from them. Find out what you can improve on. Find out what words resonated with them the most.
And I'm going to interrupt you here for a second, because the thing is you might be like, oh, well, you're speaking to like somebody who's just starting out here. No, we're not. Because I guarantee you that, I mean, you've had multiple businesses, right? And I have people that are making tens of thousands of dollars and they've made money, but they're like at this standstill. They cannot grow because they are not doing this. So you can make money not doing things this way, but it's going to feel harder. It's going to take longer, and you're going to want to bang your head against the wall way more.
Yeah. I talk about this. I started, sharing my journey, and I'm going out and actually talking about this, that I've built several businesses, 6-7 figures, the hard way, not knowing what I know now, where my superpower is. Like, what is actually a good strategy and what's aligned with me. So yeah, I've made 6-7 figure businesses and sold them. And still didn't know. But it was frustrating. I was burnt out. My relationship suffered. Like, if you look up the definition of burnout in the dictionary, which I think is all online now. I don't even think they make a book. But if you look it up there, my picture is there. Like, all the mental, all the health, like everything. Because it wasn't all aligned. Now, I had streamlined operations like a pro, but marketing and I was not doing the right things for me. I was doing what everyone else wanted me to do, or telling me to do, or what you should do. Guess what? Fuck that. I'm doing what's right for me, and only me, for my clients, and what feels good, and how I deliver my talents and I help the people that I help. So yeah, this isn't just, oh, you're just starting out and you haven't figured this out. You can make a lot of money and you still haven't figured it out.
So if you want to make more, if you want, and you just want it to feel easier to do this, like you need to get it aligned. You need, and I'm using that word that I'm like, that's an expert word, right? You should use, but you do need to do that. You do need to take the time to actually assess how this is feeling, how it's going for you, why certain things are the way they are. And you need to be really honest with yourself and not just like, oh, that feels hard, so I'm not going to do it. No, that's not doing business your way. Okay. Doing business your way is being really real and saying, okay, this is literally not right for me. And I notice that every time that I'm in this situation, X happens. But when I do this instead, it always works. Right. So it's having those realizations and, doing it your way too. We're not telling you to not get help because you probably need it. But we're telling you that, you need to be able to start listening to yourself more than other people sometimes. Because without you starting to understand yourself, it's going to make your growth a lot harder. And you're going to end up just like you described, right? Making 6-7 figures, you're going to be successful, and that's great. But you are going to be miserable. And instead of selling that 7-figure business, if you imagine it, I mean, you would have figured this out then, what you know now, if you knew that then, you probably would have had an 8-figure business by now. But instead, it was easier to walk away from it because you didn't have that alternative, or you didn't realize that you had that alternative at that point.
Correct.
So yeah, I mean, it's a game changer. And yeah, in terms of, what to do next, it's literally what we just said, right? To listen to yourself and to follow that. And I'm going to just mention here too, that I do have a mastermind coming up next month that is called Captivate and Connect, which is going to help you to do the things that we've talked about in this program, and to fill your programs more consistently with higher paying clients who are aligned, who do the work, who show up, who buy easily, and so that your sales does not feel hard because it's going to be your way, their words. So if that's something you're interested in, message me. But otherwise, like, just starting out yourself right now, if you're not going to do it, get that help, not going to have someone supporting you in that, you need to start figuring these things out.
Yeah. And if you need support helping to figure it out, as far as marketing wise, Lori's great to help figure that one out. If anything resonates, you're like, yeah, I mean, I am successful. Like I'm making 6 figures, but it feels like I'm beating my head against a wall, and it feels really difficult, and I'm pulling people through, and you feel like you're at a standstill. There could be other factors in your business that are also contributing to, so it's getting clear with your marketing, but then it's also getting the rest of your business aligned. So between Lori and I, we can help support you to figure out what those right things for you are. So then you just focus your time on that. It becomes a whole lot easier, right? I know I get it, and I think you get it as well, Lori. It's like it's like a freeing feeling when you know what you have to focus on instead of just trying to do the things.
Yeah, to feel like you have to do all of the things. Like, and for me, it is like, I will be honest, like 90% of the work I do now is content and speaking to, besides like the coaching and like the working with clients, is just writing content, putting it out there, and having conversations with people. That's all I do. And occasionally, yes, I'll send something to my team and say, like, can you do this? Or like, I forgot to do the scheduling of the emails or whatever before this. So sometimes you're going to have to do things like go on and schedule the email for the live that you have coming up in 2 hours. You're going to have to do that. For the most part, 90% of what I do is just that. It is just doing the things that are in my zone of genius that feel easy and natural for me.
Yeah.
And I make more every time. Every time I find myself like, oh, this is this isn't working. And I sit back and assess this is always what it comes back to.
So it's because it's so easy marketing. And this is again, a whole nother conversation. We need to make a note for another live, whole nother conversation. But it's like stepping back and reassessing and trying to get out of the frustrated, angry, confused, bitter mode, and kind of stepping back and going, okay, what really is happening? And it's hard, guys. It's really hard to step back when you're overwhelmed and confused and frustrated and pissed off and angry and like all of the feels that come along with entrepreneurship. You could have like 10 of them each day, just, per hour you could change. Like that is a lot that happens. There is support to help you just focus, like figure out the plan and just focus. But the next steps are get clear on where you need to focus.
Mm-hmm. And if you're not sure, reach out to me, reach out to Mara. I mean, honestly, if you send a message to Mara, make sure that you put in there what it's about, because as we talked about, if you're just like,
look at them.
What do you help?
I look at all of them. But yeah, if you're like, hey, I saw you on the live, yeah. Trust me, I'll answer you.
Yeah. So make sure you let us know why you're reaching out, and we will respond, and we'll give you that right direction, because it might be, sitting down and just assessing everything in your business, or you might just recognize there's this one thing that's really hard that I need to shift. So
and getting more in alignment, speaking the right languages and all of that kind of stuff, that will all put you in the right energy to align your audience, align your offers, right? And it becomes easy. You become one of those people that puts your offer out there to your email list and to your socials and to your network and however you have built your audience. And people are like, yes, please.
Yeah. And they're just like, sign me up. I want to buy. Exactly. That's how it is. And then you get to grow and delegate and expand. Since we're getting, like, we've been talking for a while here. So I'm like, oh God.
We do that.
We have a tendency to do that. But I just want to mention we're doing another live, and is it 2 weeks from today?
I think 2 weeks from today. Yeah.
I think it's 2 weeks from today, the 30th. If I'm not mistaken. There's an event in the Facebook group. So if you're watching in the Success Zone Facebook group, there is an event already created for it. If you're watching elsewhere, if you're on my email list, you will get an email reminder for that.
It is on the 30th. But yeah, we're going to talk about all things delegating and like how to delegate, like really how to do it. When you're starting out, it's like, I don't have money. I don't know what I need help with. Like, we're going to work through all of those things to you're more advanced in your business. You may have a few people that you've brought in to help, but that becomes a whole nother thing to figure out. And do you have the right mix of people? And do you have like what's still missing? So we're going to dive really deep into all of that. So we'd love to have all of you join us.
Yes. So thank you. I was going to say ladies, but Randy, he had to jump off. He said theirs, but he was very vocal. So thank you all for tuning in. I really appreciate you. And again, if any of what we said today resonates with you, just reach out to us. We're happy to give you some guidance in the right direction. If Captivate and Connect sounds like a good spot for you, or you want more info on that, you can reach out to me directly. And that was, again, the mastermind, where I will help you up-level your content, your messaging, your offers, so that you are calling in those people, filling your offers regularly, and have my eyes, ears, and hands in your content, helping you. So thank you.
Thank you all. Appreciate it. Hope you guys have a fabulous rest of your day and fabulous rest of your week.
Bye-bye. Thank you.